The winter storm hit Seoul without warning. Snow fell thick and fast, covering the streets in white. The wind was so cold that it hurt to breathe. Most people stayed inside their warm homes, but Park Ho had no choice. He had to pick up his son from school. Ho was 34 years old. He had kind eyes and rough hands from years of hard work. His wife had died 3 years ago, leaving him to raise their son alone. Life was not easy, but Ho never complained. He worked at a small repair shop during the day and cleaned offices at night. Every coin he earned went to his son. His son Min was only 8 years old. He was a small boy with a big heart. He loved animals, helped old ladies carry their bags, and always shared his lunch with classmates who had none. Ho was proud of the boy his son was becoming. They walked home together through the storm. Ho held Min's hand tight. The streets were empty. Everyone had disappeared into their homes to escape the cold. Then Min stopped walking. "Dad," the boy said, his voice was strange. "Dad, I heard something." Ho looked around. He saw nothing but snow and empty streets. "It's just the wind, son. Come on, we need to get home." But Min pulled his hand free and ran toward a dark alley. Ho chased after him. His heart pounded with fear. The alley was dark and narrow. Old boxes and garbage bags lined the walls. It smelled bad. Min stood frozen in the middle of the alley. He pointed at something behind a pile of wet cardboard boxes. Ho walked closer. At first he thought it was a dog, maybe a cat, but then he saw the pale blue skin, the thin arms, the small body curled into a ball. It was an alien child. Ho felt his breath catch in his throat. He had seen aliens on the news. Everyone knew they existed now. 5 years ago, ships had come from the stars. Some aliens were friendly, others were dangerous. The government told people to be careful, to report any alien to the authorities. But this was not a dangerous alien. This was a child, a small, shivering child. "Dad," Min whispered. His eyes were wide with worry. "Dad, she's freezing." The alien girl could not have been older than 5 or 6 in human years. Her skin was light blue, almost gray. She had no hair on her head. Her ears were pointed and longer than human ears. Her eyes were closed, but Ho could see dark circles under them. She wore only a thin, torn dress that offered no protection from the cold. Her body shook violently. Her lips had turned purple. Ho knew he should call the authorities. He knew the smart thing was to walk away. Aliens were not his problem. He had enough troubles of his own. But then the girl opened her eyes. They were large and golden, like 2 small suns. They looked up at Ho with such fear, such pain, such desperate hope. In that moment, she did not look like an alien from another world. She looked like what she was. A scared child who needed help. "Dad, we have to help her," Min said. There were tears in his eyes. "Please, Dad, she'll die out here." Ho did not think anymore. He took off his thick winter coat and wrapped it around the alien girl. She was so light when he picked her up, too light. He could feel her bones through the coat. She had not eaten in a long time. The girl did not fight him. She was too weak. Her golden eyes watched him with confusion and fear, but she did not struggle. Maybe she was too tired. Maybe she had already given up. "It's okay," Ho said softly. "I've got you. You're safe now." They hurried home through the storm. Ho held the girl close to his chest, trying to share his body heat with her. Min walked beside him, looking up at the alien child with worried eyes. Their apartment was small, just 2 rooms and a tiny kitchen, but it was warm. Ho had paid the heating bill last week, even though it meant eating less food that month. Now he was glad he had. He put the alien girl on the couch and covered her with every blanket he owned. Her body still shook from the cold. Her golden eyes moved around the room, looking at everything with fear. "Min, get the soup from the refrigerator," Ho said. "We need to warm her up from the inside, too." The boy ran to the kitchen. He came back with a bowl of the vegetable soup they had saved for dinner. Ho heated it on the stove and brought it to the girl. She looked at the soup like she did not know what it was. Ho showed her how to use the spoon. He lifted it to his own mouth first, pretending to drink. The girl understood. She took the spoon with shaking hands and began to eat. She ate like she had never tasted food before, or maybe like she had not eaten in days. She finished the whole bowl in minutes. Then she looked at Ho with those big golden eyes, and he saw something new in them. "Ho, been more," she said. Her voice was small and rough, like she had not used it in a long time. But she spoke Korean, simple, broken Korean. "You can talk," Min said with wonder. "Dad, she can talk." Ho smiled. "Yes, she can." He took the bowl back to the kitchen and filled it again. He gave her all the soup they had. He would find something else for himself and Min later. The girl ate 2 more bowls, then her eyes began to close. The warmth and the food were making her sleepy. Ho gently laid her down on the couch and pulled the blankets up to her chin. "What's your name?" he asked softly. The girl looked at him, her golden eyes were half closed now. "No name," she whispered. "Nobody gave me a name." Ho felt his heart break. What kind of life had this child lived? How had she ended up alone in an alley in the middle of a storm? "Everyone deserves a name," he said. He thought for a moment, then he smiled. "How about it means grace? I think it suits you." The girl's eyes widened, then for the first time her blue lips curved into a small smile. She repeated, "I am." "Yes, you are," Ho said. "Now sleep, you're safe here." Min sat on the floor next to the couch. He watched the alien girl close her eyes and fall asleep. Then he looked up at his father. "Dad," he said quietly, "are we going to keep her?" Ho looked at the sleeping girl. He thought about all the reasons he should not do this. He had no money. He had no space. The authorities would be looking for aliens. People would talk. People would judge. But he also thought about those golden eyes, that small smile, those words that broke his heart. "Nobody gave me a name." "Yes," Ho said. "Yes, I think we are." Outside, the storm continued to rage, but inside the small apartment, a new family had begun to form. A human father, a human son, and a lost alien girl who had finally found a home. Ho did not know what challenges lay ahead. He did not know how hard this path would be. But as he watched sleep peacefully for the first time in who knew how long, he knew one thing for certain. He had made the right choice. The first week was the hardest. Woke up screaming on the second night. She did not know where she was. She did not remember the kind man who had saved her. Fear had taken over her mind, and she tried to run. Ho caught her before she reached the door. He held her gently but firmly. He spoke soft words to her in the darkness. "It's okay, you're safe, nobody will hurt you here." It took an hour for her to calm down. By then, Min had woken up too. The young boy sat with his father, holding small blue hand until she stopped shaking. "Bad dreams?" Min asked. Nodded, her golden eyes were wet with tears. "Bad memories," she whispered. Ho learned more about her past over the following days, spoke slowly, searching for the right words in Korean. She was from a planet called Velar Prime. Her people had lived in peace for thousands of years. Then their sun began to die. It grew cold and dark, stealing the warmth from their world. They had no choice but to leave. They built ships and flew into space looking for a new home. But the galaxy was not kind to refugees. Nobody wanted them. Some planets turned them away, others attacked them. The fleet scattered across the stars, broken and lost. Ship had crashed on Earth 2 years ago. Her parents did not survive the crash. She was only 3 years old then. She had been living alone on the streets ever since, hiding from humans who feared her, stealing food to survive. "How did you learn to speak Korean?" Ho asked. "I listened," said. "I hid and listened. Words are the same everywhere. Fear, pain, hunger, I learned those first." Ho felt his heart grow heavy. This small child had survived alone for 2 years. She had taught herself a new language just by listening. She had found ways to stay alive in a world that did not want her. They were not just survivors, they were strong, stronger than anyone knew. But strength could only carry someone so far, needed more than survival now. She needed a family, she needed love. Ho decided to make things official. He went to the government office and asked about adopting an alien child. The clerk looked at him like he was crazy. "You want to adopt an alien," the clerk said. "Do you know how much trouble that will bring?" "I know," Ho said. "I want to do it anyway." The process took 3 months. There were forms to fill, tests to take, officials who came to inspect his small apartment. Some looked at with disgust, others looked at Ho with pity. A few tried to talk him out of it. "You're a single father," one official said. "You already have one child, you work 2 jobs, why would you take on another burden?" Ho looked at, she sat in the corner of the room, trying to make herself small and invisible. She expected rejection. She had learned that this was how the world worked. "She's not a burden," Ho said firmly. "She's my daughter." The official blinked. He looked at, then back at Ho. Something changed in his eyes, maybe respect, maybe understanding. "Very well," the official said. "I'll approve the adoption." When Ho told the news, she did not understand at first. "Adopted," she said. "What does that mean?" "It means you're part of our family now," Min explained. He was grinning from ear to ear. "It means Dad is your dad too, and I'm your brother." His golden eyes went wide. She looked at Ho, searching his face for any sign of deception. She found none. "Family," she whispered. "I have a family." Yes, Ho said. He knelt down and held out his arms. If you want one. Threw herself into his arms. She hugged him than she had ever hugged anyone. Her small body shook, but not from cold this time, from happiness, from relief, from the release of 2 years of loneliness. Thank you, she cried. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Min joined the hug. The three of them held each other in the small apartment, a family made not by blood but by choice. The neighbors talked, of course. Ho heard the whispers when he walked down the hallway. Some people stared at with open hostility, others crossed the street to avoid them. One old woman stopped Ho outside the building. You're making a mistake, she said. That creature doesn't belong here. Send it back where it came from. She's a child, Ho said calmly, and she has nowhere to go back to. Her home is gone. That's not our problem, the old woman said. Ho smiled sadly. No, it wasn't, but I made it my problem, and I'm glad I did. He walked away holding his hand. She had heard everything. Her golden eyes were filled with pain. I'm sorry, she said. I caused trouble for you. You caused no trouble, Ho said. People fear what they don't understand, but fear fades with time. Love doesn't. Life slowly became normal, started to laugh more. She played games with Min. She helped Ho cook dinner. She learned to read Korean books. She grew stronger every day. But her body was different from human bodies. They were not made for Earth's gravity. They came from a smaller planet with lighter gravity, often felt tired. Her muscles ached after long walks. She could not run as fast as other children. Ho took her to a doctor, not a regular doctor, but a special one who knew about alien biology. The doctor was an old man named Ho Jin. He had studied aliens since the first ships arrived. She's healthy, doctor said after the examination, but she'll need extra care. Her bones are lighter than human bones. Her lungs work differently. She should avoid extreme cold and extreme heat. What about her diet? Ho asked. Human food is fine for her, but she needs more protein and less sugar, and she should eat warm food whenever possible. The struggle to regulate their body temperature. Ho nodded. He made mental notes of everything. He would do whatever it took to keep healthy. As they left the clinic, tugged on his sleeve. Dad, she said softly. It was the first time she had called him that. Ho felt tears in his eyes. Yes. Why do you do all this for me? She asked. Why do you care so much? I'm not like you. I'm not human. Ho knelt down to look into her golden eyes. Family isn't about being the same, he said. Family is about loving each other. Humans, it doesn't matter. You're my daughter. That's all that matters. Hugged him again, right there on the street, with people watching and judging. She did not care anymore. She had something more powerful than their opinions. She had a father who loved her. That night, Min made a drawing. It showed 3 figures holding hands, a tall man in the middle, a small boy on one side, a blue-skinned girl on the other. Above them, he had written one word. Family. Ho hung the drawing on the wall. It was not perfect. The lines were crooked, the colors were messy, but it was beautiful because it was true. They were a family now, different but together, strange but loving, a human father, a human son, and an alien daughter. The galaxy might not understand, the neighbors might not approve, but none of that mattered. Because in that small apartment, love had won. And love was stronger than anything the universe could throw at them. 10 years passed faster than anyone expected. Was no longer a scared little girl hiding in alleys. She was 16 now, tall and graceful, with bright golden eyes that sparkled when she laughed. Her blue skin had deepened to a rich azure color. She had grown into her pointed ears and her delicate features. She was beautiful in a way that was entirely her own. Min was 18 and preparing for university. He had grown into a strong young man with his father's kind eyes and his mother's gentle smile. He studied hard, worked part-time jobs, and still found time to help his sister with her homework. Ho was 44 years old. His hair had started to turn gray at the temples. His back hurt from years of hard work, but his eyes still held the same warmth that had saved a freezing child on a cold winter night. The family had found their rhythm. Mornings were busy with breakfast and school preparations. Evenings were filled with dinner conversations and laughter. Weekends were for trips to the park or movies or just staying home together. Had adjusted well to Earth life. She attended a regular human school. At first, the other students had been afraid of her. Some had called her names, others had refused to sit near her, but had a gift for making friends. She was kind, helpful, and always ready with a smile. Slowly, the fear turned to curiosity. The curiosity turned to friendship. By the time she reached high school, was one of the most popular students. She was president of the science club. She volunteered at the local animal shelter. She tutored younger students who struggled with their studies. She's amazing, Min often said to his father. I don't know how she does it. Ho smiled. She learned from the best. You mean you? I mean you, Ho said. You taught her how to be brave, how to face fear with a smile. You were her first friend, Min, that matters more than you know. Life was good, not easy, but good. Ho still worked 2 jobs. Money was always tight, but they had enough to eat, a warm home, and each other. That was more than many people had. Then something strange began to happen. It started small. A stray cat at the animal shelter had a broken leg. The vet said it would take months to heal. But when held the cat in her arms, something changed. Her hands began to glow with a soft golden light. The cat relaxed, its breathing slowed, and when the vet checked again the next day, the bone had healed completely. Impossible, the vet said. This should have taken weeks. Said nothing. She did not understand what had happened, but she felt something inside her, a warmth, a power, something that had been sleeping for a long time. It happened again 2 weeks later. A classmate fell during gym class and twisted her ankle badly. The teacher went to get the nurse, stayed with her friend holding her hand. That golden glow appeared again. By the time the nurse arrived, the ankle was fine. I thought it was sprained, the teacher said with confusion. It looked really bad. Maybe it wasn't as bad as we thought, the nurse said. But knew the truth. She had healed her friend. Somehow she had the power to fix broken bodies. She did not tell anyone, not her teachers, not her friends, not even her family. She was afraid. What would people think if they knew? Would they fear her even more? Would they take her away from her father? So she kept her secret. She used her powers only when absolutely necessary, and only when no one was watching. A sick bird in the park, an injured dog on the street, small things that nobody would notice. But secrets have a way of growing heavier with time. Began to research her people. She spent hours on the internet looking for any information about what she found amazed her. They were not just refugees, they were healers. For thousands of years they had used their powers to help other species across the galaxy. They could cure diseases that no medicine could touch. They could repair wounds that should have been fatal. They were known as the Blessed Ones, treasured by every civilization that had met them. Then their sun died and they scattered. Most people believed they had gone extinct. Nobody knew that some still survived, hiding on distant planets, afraid to reveal themselves. Stared at the screen, her hands shook. She was not just an alien girl adopted by a kind human. She was the last hope of a dying species. Her powers could change the galaxy. But she was also just a teenager who wanted to be normal. She wanted to go to school, hang out with friends, and come home to her family. She did not want to be special. She did not want to be different. She closed the computer and went to find her father. Ho was in the kitchen preparing dinner. He looked tired. He always looked tired these days, but he smiled when he saw. Hey, sweetheart, dinner will be ready soon. Watched him work. His movements were slower than before. His shoulders seemed heavier. She noticed things she had not noticed before. The way he winced when he lifted the pot. The way he paused to catch his breath after climbing the stairs. Dad, she said, are you okay? I'm fine, he said, just getting old. But something in his eyes told her he was not being completely honest. That night lay awake in her bed. She thought about her powers. She thought about her father. She thought about all the people she could help if she revealed herself. But she also thought about the cost. If the galaxy knew the still existed, what would happen? Would they come for her? Would they take her away from the only home she had ever known? She did not have answers, only questions. The next morning she woke up early and made breakfast for the family. Pancakes the way Ho had taught her. Coffee for Dad, juice for Min, everything perfect. When Ho walked into the kitchen, he stopped and stared. What's all this? Just wanted to say thank you, said, for everything. Ho's eyes softened. He walked over and hugged her. You don't need to thank me. You're my daughter. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you. Hugged him back. She felt his heart beating against her chest. She felt the warmth of his body, the strength of his arms. She also felt something else, something wrong. Her healing senses told her what her eyes could not see. There was something inside her father, something dark, something growing. His blood turned cold. Her father was sick, very sick. And he had not told anyone. She pulled back and looked into his eyes. She wanted to say something. She wanted to ask him what was wrong, but the words would not come. Ho smiled at her, the same warm smile he had given her on that cold winter night, all those years ago. Come on, he said, let's eat before the pancakes get cold. Nodded, she forced herself to smile back. But inside, her heart was breaking. Her father was dying, and she did not know how to save him. Not yet. But she would find a way, no matter what it took, no matter what it cost. Because that was what family did. They saved each other. The collapse came 3 months later. Was at school when her phone rang. It was Min. His voice was shaking so badly that she could barely understand him. Dad fell at work, he said. They took him to the hospital. You need to come now. Ran, she did not wait for the bus. She did not call a taxi. She just ran faster than she had ever run before. Her body was not built for running, but she did not care. Her lungs burned, her muscles screamed, but she kept going. She reached the hospital in 20 minutes. Min was waiting outside. His face was pale. His eyes were red from crying. Where is he? Asked. Emergency room. They won't let me in. They waited together. Minutes felt like hours. Hours felt like days. Doctors walked past them without making eye contact. Nurses whispered to each other and looked away. Finally, a doctor came to speak with them. He was a middle-aged man with gray hair and tired eyes. He looked at them with the expression of someone who had delivered bad news too many times. Are you family? He asked. Yes, Min said. That's our father, Park Ho. What's wrong with him? The doctor sighed. I'm afraid it's serious. Your father has advanced stage cancer. It has spread to multiple organs, the liver, the lungs, the bones. Felt the world tilt beneath her feet. Cancer, but he never said anything. He knew, the doctor said quietly. He was diagnosed 8 months ago. He refused treatment. Refused? Min's voice cracked. Why would he refuse? I don't know for certain, but based on our conversation, I believe he didn't want to burden you with medical bills. The treatment is very expensive. He chose to work as long as he could and save money for you instead. Tears streamed down Min's face. That idiot, that stupid, selfless idiot. Said nothing. Her mind was racing. 8 months. Her father had been dying for 8 months, and he had hidden it from them. He had continued working 2 jobs, cooking dinner, helping with homework. He had smiled and laughed and pretended everything was fine. Because that was who he was, a man who put his family before himself. Always. Can you save him? Asked. Her voice was steady, but her hands were shaking. The doctor hesitated. I'm sorry. At this stage, there's nothing we can do. The cancer is too advanced. Even the best treatments would only buy him a few more weeks. How long does he have? Days, maybe a week if he's strong. The words hit like a physical blow. Days. Her father had days to live. The man who had saved her from the cold. The man who had given her a name, a home, a family. The man who had loved her when no one else would. He was going to die. Can we see him? She whispered. Yes, he's awake and asking for you. They walked into the hospital room together. Ho lay on the bed, connected to machines that beeped and hummed. He looked smaller than remembered, weaker. His skin was pale and his cheeks were hollow. But when he saw his children, he smiled. That same warm smile, even now. Hey kids, he said. His voice was soft but clear. Sorry for scaring you. Min rushed to his side. Dad, why didn't you tell us? We could have helped. We could have done something. There was nothing to do, Ho said gently. The treatment would have cost everything, our home, your education's future. I couldn't take that from you. We don't care about that, Min shouted. We care about you. Ho reached out and took his son's hand. I know you do, and that's exactly why I did what I did, because I love you both more than my own life. Stood by the door, frozen. Her mind was at war with itself. She had the power to save him. She could walk over there right now, place her hands on his chest, and heal him. The golden light would flow from her body into his. The cancer would disappear. He would live. But then what? The doctors would see. They would ask questions. They would want to know how she did it. Word would spread. The galaxy would learn that the still existed, that their healing powers were real. People would come for her, governments, corporations, anyone who wanted to use her powers for their own purposes. She would become a tool, a prize, a target. And her family would be in danger. Ho looked at her. His eyes, even now, were full of love. Come here. She walked to his bedside. She could not speak. If she opened her mouth, she would start crying and never stop. I want you to know something, Ho said. That night when I found you in the alley, I thought I was saving you, but I was wrong. You saved me. Dad, before you came, I was lost. After your mother died, I didn't know how to keep going. I worked and worked, but there was no joy in my life. Then you appeared, this small, freezing child with golden eyes, and everything changed. He squeezed her hand. You taught me that family isn't about blood, it's about choice. You taught me that love can cross any distance, any difference. You made me believe in miracles again. Tears fell from his eyes, golden tears glowing faintly in the dim room. She could not hide anymore. Dad, she said, I have to tell you something. Ho looked at her tears. He did not seem surprised. I know, sweetheart, I've always known. You knew about my powers. I knew you were special, he said, not just because you're you. Whatever gifts you have, they're part of who you are, and who you are is my daughter, my wonderful, kind, brave daughter. Fell to her knees beside his bed. I can save you, my powers can heal you, but if I do, everyone will know, they'll come for me, they'll never leave us alone. Ho was quiet for a long moment, then he spoke. I would never ask you to sacrifice yourself for me, not for any reason. If saving my life means putting you in danger, then the answer is no. But Dad, listen to me, his voice was firm despite his weakness. I've lived a good life, I raised 2 amazing children. I found love and happiness in the most unexpected place. I have no regrets. He touched her face, wiping away her glowing tears. But you have your whole life ahead of you. You have a destiny that's bigger than this hospital room. You're the last of your kind. The galaxy needs what you can give. I won't let you throw that away for an old man who's already lived more than he deserved. You deserve everything, cried. You're the best person I've ever known. Ho smiled, then let me go knowing I raised a daughter who will change the universe. That's all I ask. Min had been listening silently. Now he spoke, his voice thick with emotion. Dad's right, we can't ask you to do this, but we can support whatever you decide, your family, no matter what. Looked at her father, at her brother, at the 2 humans who had given her everything. She thought about fear, about sacrifice, about love. And she made her choice. No, she said firmly, I won't let you die, not like this, not when I can stop it. She placed her hands on her father's chest. The golden light began to flow. Oh, wait, I'm not throwing anything away, she said. I'm keeping my family together. That's not a sacrifice, that's a gift. The light grew brighter, warmer. It filled the room like sunrise. Outside the window, people began to notice. Doctors stopped in the hallway, nurses gathered at the door. Phones came out, cameras flashed. Did not care. She poured everything she had into her father, all her love, all her hope, all her power. And Park Ho began to heal. The light faded slowly, like a sunset sinking below the horizon. Pulled her hands back, her whole body trembled with exhaustion. She had given everything she had, every drop of power, every ounce of strength. But it had worked. Ho lay on the hospital bed, breathing deeply. His skin had regained its color. His cheeks were no longer hollow. When he opened his eyes, they were clear and bright, free from pain for the first time in months. He whispered, "What did you do?" I saved you, she said. Her voice was weak, but her smile was strong. Like you saved me. The room was no longer quiet. Doctors and nurses crowded at the door. People in the hallway were shouting. Phones were ringing everywhere. The golden light had been seen by dozens of people. Videos were already spreading across the internet. The secret was out. Within hours, the hospital was surrounded. News vans, government vehicles, crowds of curious people. Everyone wanted to see the alien girl who could heal with golden light. Ho held's hand as they watched the chaos through the window. I'm sorry, I didn't want this for you. Don't be sorry, said. I made my choice. I don't regret it. Min stood guard at the door, turning away anyone who tried to enter. His protective instincts had kicked in. Nobody was going to bother his family, not today. The Korean government sent representatives the next morning. They were polite but firm. They wanted to know about Ho's powers. They wanted to know if there were more like her. They wanted to know how her abilities could be used. Answered their questions honestly. Yes, she was. Yes, she had healing powers. Yes, there might be other survivors scattered across the galaxy. No, she would not be used as a weapon or a tool. She was a person, not a resource. The representatives exchanged uncomfortable glances. They were not used to being told no. But Ho stepped forward. Despite being in a hospital gown, despite having nearly died hours ago, he spoke with quiet authority. My daughter just saved my life. She revealed her secret to do it, knowing the cost. That takes more courage than most people will ever have. If you try to take her away, if you try to use her against her will, you will have to go through me first. And me, Min added. The representatives looked at this small family, a tired father, a determined son, an alien daughter with golden eyes. They left without making any demands. But the attention did not stop. Over the following weeks became the most famous person on the planet. Her face was on every screen. Her story was told in every language. People debated what to do with her. Some wanted to study her. Others wanted to protect her. A few wanted to use her powers for their own benefit. Through it all, stayed calm. She gave interviews. She answered questions. She showed the world that she was not a threat, just a person who had grown up in a loving family. "Why did you reveal yourself?" one reporter asked. "You could have stayed hidden forever." Thought about the question, then she smiled. "Because some things are more important than safety. Family, love, gratitude, these things are worth any risk." "What do you want people to understand about that we're not so different from you? We have hopes and dreams. We feel pain and joy. We just want to live in peace like everyone else." The interview went viral. Millions of people watched it. Many of them cried. 1 month after the hospital incident received an invitation. The Galactic Council, the governing body of 100 different species, wanted her to speak. They had heard about her powers. They had heard about her story. They wanted to know more. Was nervous. She had never left Earth before. She had never spoken to alien leaders, but Ho encouraged her to go. "This is your chance to help your people," he said. "All those survivors out there hiding and afraid, you can give them hope." So went to space. The Galactic Council chamber was enormous. Representatives from dozens of species sat in towering seats that circled a central platform. Some looked humanoid, others were completely alien. A few had no visible form at all. Stood alone on the platform, feeling very small. The head of the council spoke first. She was an ancient being with silver skin and 4 arms. Her voice echoed through the chamber. "You are the one they call the last. Is this true?" "I don't know if I'm the last," said, "but I am, and I have our healing gift." Murmurs spread through the chamber. They were legendary. Their healing powers had saved countless lives throughout galactic history. When they disappeared, the galaxy had mourned. "Why did your people hide?" another council member asked. "Why did you not come to us for help?" Thought about her years on the streets, the fear, the hunger, the loneliness. "Because we were afraid," she said honestly. "We lost everything, our home, our families, our hope. When you lose that much, it's hard to trust again. And yet you revealed yourself. Why?" Took a deep breath. "Because a human taught me that trust is worth the risk." She told them her story, the cold night in Seoul, the kind man who wrapped her in his coat, the years of love and laughter in a small apartment, the choice to save her father no matter the cost. When she finished, the chamber was silent. Then the silver-skinned leader spoke again. "This human, this Park Ho, he took you in when no one else would." "Yes." "He raised you as his own daughter." "Yes." "He taught you to love again." Felt tears in her eyes. "He taught me that family is not about where you come from, it's about where you belong." The council members looked at each other. Silent conversations passed between them. Finally, the leader raised her hand. "There were once treasured members of the galactic community. We failed to protect them when they needed us most. We will not make that mistake again." She turned to, "In honor of the compassion shown by one human and the courage shown by one, we offer the following decree. Earth will become a protected sanctuary for all survivors. Any who wish to settle there may do so in peace. The Galactic Council will provide resources and protection." Heart soared. "Really, you would do that?" "We would do more," the leader said, "but this is a start. Perhaps in time that will heal more than just bodies. Perhaps you will heal the wounds between our peoples as well." When returned to Earth, she was not alone. Survivors from across the galaxy had heard the news. They came in small ships and large ones, families who had been hiding for years, children who had never known their heritage, elders who thought they would die in exile. They came to Earth because one human had been kind to one alien child. Ho watched from the rooftop of their apartment building as ships landed across Seoul. His cancer was gone. His strength had returned. He had years ahead of him thanks to his daughter's gift. Stood beside him, holding his hand. "You did this," she said, "all of this, because you stopped in that alley." Ho shook his head. "I just did what anyone would do." "No," said firmly, "you did what no one else would do. You saw a freezing child and you chose to help. That's not ordinary, that's extraordinary." Min joined them on the rooftop. He carried 3 cups of hot chocolate, just like old times. The whole galaxy is watching us, he said. Do you think they're impressed? Laughed, I think they're confused. They can't understand how one small human family changed everything. Ho sipped his chocolate. He looked at his 2 children, one human and one alien, both equally his. That's the thing about humans, he said. We're not the strongest. We don't have special powers or advanced technology. He smiled, but we have love, and love is the most powerful force in the universe. Leaned against her father's shoulder, she looked up at the stars, at the ships bringing her people home. 10 years ago, she had been a freezing child with no name, waiting to die in a dark alley. Now she was the bridge between worlds, the healer of her people, the daughter of the kindest man she had ever known. All because one human said 3 simple words. I've got you. And he never let go.